All right, fam. Welcome back to another episode 12 of the Soulful Threes Journeys.
Wow.
Yes, sir. This is where the healing starts. This is where we get uncomfortable sometimes. Topics get heavy, and your host, or one of them anyways, still sometimes rehearses conversations in the shower like he's prepping for a courtroom scene. Okay. I'm not perfect here. Today's episode, why are we so afraid to be seen? That's the question. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about the filtered version of being seen, like your Sunday selfie with, perfect lighting and all that, and a cup of coffee that you didn't actually drink, right? I'm talking about the really seen, like the soul level, unmasked, exposed, all that. You ever feel like visibility comes with expectations?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Like if people notice you, they might actually expect something from you. And if you're not ready to deliver, it's almost like you shrink, right? That's been a battle of mine since I was a kid. So today I kind of want to unpack what that looks like, break that down a little bit. And hopefully, if you've been hiding too on the other end of this camera, you'll find something in here that makes you want to stand up a little bit taller today. So we're going to dive right into it with segment 1. And for this segment, the topic is kind of like fear and vulnerability, how that shows up, right? The fear for me wasn't just about attention. It was about responsibility. We'll say that, right?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't avoid being seen just because I was shy, because I was really shy. I think I've said that multiple of times on here, right? So that's not news, but I avoided it because I thought being seen came with almost like a cost, right? It was going to cost me something. And that cost for me, that was responsibility. That was vulnerability. If you saw me, that meant you might expect something from me. To answer a question, to lead, to explain something maybe I didn't understand myself yet.
Yeah.
And I couldn't handle that type of pressure growing up. So growing up, I've mentioned that I didn't grow up with a dad, right?
Right.
That meant my mom wore every hat. She was a provider, a protector, a disciplinarian, a cook, a nurse, the whole 9 yards, right? But emotions, nah, that wasn't part of the story. There wasn't room for that.
Sure.
There wasn't safety in that. Is the real kick there. And so I learned really early on, if you don't have the answer, just don't speak.
That's good.
And if you cry, you had better go do it in your room.
Right. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hear you there.
And if you're confused, you better keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody wants your confusion here.
Nope.
It was survival, man.
Yeah.
And I carried that shit like a rule book deep into adulthood. I still deal with it today.
Yeah.
So every time someone looked at me like I should lead or guide or somehow know something, I'd panic because I didn't just fear failure. I feared visibility.
Wow.
So we're going to dive into that a little bit. That's my story. I'm going to pass it over to you too. What you got?
Yeah, man. I know for me, man. Oh gosh. It was the moments in life where I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to say it. And I didn't want to be embarrassed. Right. So I was all in my head. I would overthink. Well, if I don't know an answer to something, I'm gonna look silly. If I don't sound cool, they're gonna call me dumb. If I don't walk a certain way or carry myself, in a certain way, they're gonna make fun of me. A lot of that stemmed from teachers, right? I tell this story sometimes that I used to get so nervous reading in front of people because my teacher, maybe 5th grade, right? We're learning how to read big words, right? You're trying to, and I would stumble over something and she would stop me and be so mean and so rude and would call me out of my name and call me silly and, make fun of my color, and because I was from the hood and it was embarrassing. So the other children, well, they didn't want to get picked on. They would point fingers and laugh too. So that followed me for a long time. And the only place that I could feel safety was in my room by myself, close the door, lock it. Now, my mom loved me. Yeah, of course. But that bothered me. So when I went out in front of people, I didn't want to be seen. I would avoid people by not looking them in the eye. There was no confidence there because of that teacher. And there were moments in my life as an adult, I'm in different places. Hey, Brian, come on up here and read. Me? And I get up on stage. Yo, I'm serious. I'm up here full sweats. And I start reading and it hit me. La, 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 la. Kids, teacher, you can't do it. I'm seeing this as I'm reading. And I stumble and I pause. And I'm at this time probably 25. I ran off stage. And it was like, what happened? What? Brian, come back here. Yo, that bothered me for so long that I carried that I was like you. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to have the answers. I don't want someone to rely on me because I want to be made fun of. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I found safety in that. And I didn't know that wasn't the answer on, how to become a better version of yourself. So, man, for me, that was rough. And even to this day, I still kind of struggle with it a little bit, but I've built myself up enough to remind myself who I am and how powerful I am. But yeah, sometimes it's a staunch reminder, read this birthday card. Oh, in front of 15 people. All right. But
Right.
man, this is a real topic that I think a lot of people struggle with, and this needs to be unpacked. So this is a great topic, gentlemen. Camp, what you got, fam? What you got?
Let's get after it.
Well, let's just say I was kind of the same way when I was younger. Although from what I was told, I did nothing but talk. I don't remember it, but I was always the yapper, always the one. Didn't matter what was going on. I was just
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what it was. But when I started becoming aware is when the problems started started setting in. When I started realizing like, okay, do I really want to keep just yapping away? Do I really want to always be the center of attention? Do I, I think it's just easier just to go hide and play some video games, just kind of sneak away and not have the answers, not be the center of attention. And I think that kind of stuck with me for the longest time after that. After I started waking up and realizing, well, I started being self-aware, but in the wrong direction, not realizing it because I didn't know how to process it. So it's just a lot of diving into just, okay, we'd go visit friends or whatever with the family, and we're just going to go downstairs and play on whatever console we're able to play with and just kind of hide down there, Why don't you guys go and play out and go hang out with all the kids? I'm like, yeah, maybe some other time, it just always felt like, I was always too worried about what to say. I was too worried about getting picked on. I was always too hesitant to do or even enjoy at that point, just being a kid. And that really did a number on me as I got older. I'm finally starting to get past it. There's still moments where it comes back in, but that was the biggest issues I had when I was younger. It was just trying to manage how to process that, and just so easier just hiding away. Just I'll go play Super Nintendo or something. I'll play some Mario Kart for hours or Commodore 64, I think at one point,
Yes.
But, that was my easy hideaway from having to maybe potentially say the wrong thing and get picked on.
I feel that. And how do you unpack it that early, right? Like, unless you're given a guide or maybe,
Facts.
A father or a leader or somebody there, maybe it's even your mother, whoever that is, unless you're given that guide, right? Like, how do you get through that? Most of the time, unfortunately, it's society that's teaching us,
Yep.
Bro,
right?
that's so true.
And it's not always the best way that they teach you.
No.
Well, it's not like I didn't have family there. It's just I didn't know how to properly project it, how to talk about it.
Sure.
It
Yeah.
was just easier just to hide.
Mm.
You know, at least in my situation, it was. I didn't know how to. Like now, I could talk to you guys about anything. You know, you give me
Yeah.
a question, I'm going to analyze it. I'm going to be like, this is probably the best way to explain it. Back then, I'm just kind of like Super Mario. I mean, you know, whatever.
Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it was a coach for me that really saw my potential, right? It took somebody else that wasn't so necessarily plugged into society and making somebody feel bad or belittling someone. And it was a coach for me. And he said, kid, you got potential. And he would talk to me. He would show me a little bit more love, right? And it helped me in development when I played sports. And he would force me into situations, right? Not being rude or, upset. Elias, you got this. Get in there, hit that A gap, right? Come on, son, you got this. I believe in you. Hearing those type of things built that for me. So it was a coach that saw potential. And yeah, that's when the earliest time that I can remember playing Pop Warner football. We had some Pop Warner, and yeah, this coach was an amazing man. It was very powerful. And that's when I can remember someone else pouring something into me that I've been lacking for so long. And yeah, hats off to him. Kudos to that coach for seeing that, because some people, they may see it, may not see it. A lot of people won't care.
True.
So when you find those heroes in your life, man, those small moments of heroes that can pour something into you, man, it's a blessing. And I remember those moments and I hold on to them. Yeah, that was the turning point for me.
That's a beautiful thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really awesome, Brian. I don't know that I can say, and damn me if I forgot, but I don't know that I can say it was any one person for me. Like, I really identify with your story, Brian, because it's very similar to mine. But for me, it was like little moments of when people would tell me I'm doing something wrong that really built me up, because I would take that, and my excuse in my head was, you're not going to do that again. And that's how you get better.
Yeah.
That's why I say when society, really trained me, it was those little things. I'll take you back to middle school. Kind of identify with your story a little bit, right? We're in science class and we're doing one of those dreaded popcorn reading days, right? You know what that is? You remember those? One kid reads a paragraph, then the other one. You call on the next person, right?
Yep.
Trust me, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
The cycle of anxiety continues, right?
Trust me.
I could feel my anxiety pop out of my chest. 5 people before me. Easily 5 people before me.
Yeah.
And my palms are sweating.
Yeah.
I was rehearsing the paragraph in my head over and over, so I wouldn't trip on the words like you were saying.
Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't feel like an idiot, because God forbid I say organism, and you know what rhymes with organism wrong, and the whole class busts up. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So when it finally hit my turn, my voice cracked. Not a big deal to everybody else, right? But to me, God, I wanted to disappear so bad.
Yeah.
I wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how deep it ran. Being seen equaled being vulnerable. Yeah. And I wasn't equipped for that vulnerability. I was taught that fumbling my words made me stupid.
Yeah.
I wasn't told that messing up didn't mean you weren't lovable.
Yep.
So I learned to shrink. Right. And it took those little moments for me. I remember this really beautiful girl. She ended up being my girlfriend through high school until she didn't want nothing to do with me anymore, because I wouldn't make love to her. Right. I didn't want to do that out of wedlock. And I remember she told me this story once, and it's a simple story. It's nothing big here, but she remembered before we were dating, that she would be driving by, and I lived on this main road in my town, she would drive by that main road going into her town and see me walking the streets, because I was always walking. I was always out.
Yeah.
Whether it was go to the corner store or just going out playing, I was always out. But I always had my hands either in a fist, and I think I've said this before in a school story that I told you guys about with a friend, or I had my hands in my pocket. But I always had my head down. And Brian, you said it earlier in a different scenario, right? It's that confidence thing, right?
Yeah.
I always had my head down because I didn't want to look up, afraid somebody would see me, right?
Yep.
Afraid somebody would recognize me. And she said, I always notice you walking really slow down the road, and your head's always down. You always look sad. It was moments like that that trained me that you don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
It was moments like this middle school science class.
Yeah.
Or when I'm walking down the road another day and these teenagers much older than me throw a big gulp and hit me in the hand and almost break my hand. Right? Little moments like, hey, you go out and you get seen. That's vulnerability, man. And you don't want that. There's people out here to get you. That's what it felt like. And it became a fear thing for me. Right?
Yeah. Wow. That's deep, man. That's deep. Kent, what you thinking, man? What you thinking, bro?
Well, I mean, like I try to think back to like even, early school days and stuff like that. It was I was kind of an anomaly when it came to that, I guess. That's not even when I really had to deal with a whole lot of it, because I only went to school till like the end of third grade, and then I was homeschooled. So I was given that option. But when I was in school, I was the geek. I was the one that everybody went to first, and then they'd ask the teacher if I didn't know the answer. And so I guess maybe even at that age, I didn't realize that maybe it was just a form of responsibility already at that point, which it shouldn't have been, even being that young.
Yeah.
Wow. I had a few anxiety-ridden moments when I was younger, when it came to like trying to get projects done, but that's just because I didn't understand that and do things step by step and little bit by little bit. I'm already envisioning the end result, and I didn't know how to get to it. But again, that's part of learning and stuff like that. But and then just kind of going over it all, I'm like, the biggest part for me is just the realization that I feel better when I'm interacting with people. I feel better.
That's good.
When I am seen.
Yeah.
Because the more I hide, the more I hold things back, the more I don't verbalize what's really going on, the more I start going into a shell, and I start feeling sick. You get stagnant, you don't keep moving forward. And that's how I feel when it comes to that. And that kind of ties into getting on stream like this with people, and making videos for different platforms.
Yeah.
It's just being, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to put that out there. And if I get seen and people don't like it, you know what? Whatever. It's just trying to accept that and moving forward.
Right.
It's still it's a battle, but I never, like you mentioned before, Brian, though, you said you had somebody that kind of just really brought that out. And I would have to say, just in a culmination of people, of things, of different lived experiences. I don't have one, again, that would be significantly that jumps out. But I will say that the times when I would go see like a therapist, when I'm trying to understand what's going on, and if I have no relation to the person, no ties, no knowing, there's no judgments coming back, and I can just basically kind of say what I need to say, those situations seem to actually make the most benefit on me. And I didn't realize it till now, being able to just let it out, not be judged, and get those thoughts off my mind. Once in a while, they'd come back with oh, okay, well, let's break this down a little bit. But still, I think that was probably the biggest point where I started waking up and going, okay, yeah, this I think is what I need to keep doing. I need to keep not hiding. I need to keep pushing that out. But you know, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
I feel that. You know, I want to touch on what Camp said a little bit because it got my mind going. You mentioned coming out of your shell, right? To me, and this is only for me. I'm not talking about you here. To me, that was performance for me because I became a performer and I lost a lot of people over my life because of that, right? Because I was in my shell a lot. And as I got older, I didn't necessarily come out of my shell. As a matter of fact, I believe there are still many situations, even today, that I can point to and find myself in a shell.
Mm.
And it's
Yeah.
because I haven't allowed myself to fully come out. I'm still trying to find my voice. I'm still trying to love myself more fully.
Yeah.
And as I got older, like I said, I didn't really come out of that shell. I just built more socially acceptable versions, right?
Yep. Oh, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
Right. Like I
Yeah.
became the strong friend, right? I became the reliable guy, the one who didn't complain, didn't need much, always had a little wisdom to offer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what that really was, hindsight 2020, and as I think about it and as I listen to you talk Camp, is that was performance really for me.
Mm-hmm.
I performed like hell because I was scared to be real. Scared someone might see the anxiety under all that calm. The doubt.
Well,
Yeah.
to add to that though, I didn't mean to interrupt though. Just like it's just
No, go
random
ahead.
thought to add to that though is that started off as performance for me.
Okay.
It started off that way, but the more I did it, the more I'm like, no, let's start putting more of me into it. And I start realizing who I really am. Like it was like the catalyst to kind of opening up what was underneath everything to get past who knows for how long I've been performing and didn't even realize it also.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm.
So it was kind of
Deep.
that waking point. The more and more I do this, the more and more I talk to people, it starts bringing out that real me, and I can actually start diving into those things.
Yeah, that's what I love about this whole conversation. And I think it's so important. And I don't even know how to eloquently say this next part, but the kicker behind all this is when you perform too well for too long, right? You attract people who love the mask and not the person behind that mask.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
See, I had friends walk away when I finally opened up.
Yep.
They liked confident me, chill me, always there for you. I got you. They liked that me. But the moment I said I'm not okay, radio silence, crickets. Chirp, chirp.
Mm.
Right? And those were the ones that hurt. But
Yeah.
the flip side of that is it set me free. Because now I have a new version of me that I can start to build. I recognize that now. That's part of the process of healing, right? You got to recognize these faults, these idiosyncrasies that don't really line up with the version of you that you're trying to be if you're trying to get to that best part, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that best part of me is not the guy that's wearing that mask.
Yeah.
What I did is I found the people that love me, right?
Yeah.
The people that
Absolutely.
stick by me because of me,
Yeah.
not because of those masks that I wear.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that I don't script this out to talk to y'all on a podcast, because I still do that shit.
Yeah.
Right. But it just means the more authentic me gets to come out and start speaking on these things, maybe with a little structure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of reading off of a script book, right?
Sure.
And so that's where this kind of shell is breaking loose for me a little bit, is finding out those weaknesses, those vulnerabilities, and saying, okay, now what do I want to do with that, right?
Yeah.
Those did hurt. They did, but they set me free too. I'm on a new path. A new process is in place now for me to move forward.
Yeah. Man, that's beautiful, man. Like for me, gentlemen, I wore so many different type of masks in high school and people pleasing that I forgot the sound of my voice, what it sounded like, because I was trying to sound like other people. I was trying to do and make them accept me. I was trying to do and make them love me. I was trying to do and make them like me, right? To be accepted, to be in the in crowd, whatever that means. But back then, it was a thing. When I was coming up, I want to be the cool kid. I want to be the popular
Still
kid. I want to be
is
still kind of technically right.
Still
And
is.
and man, I lost myself from wearing so many different ones that I had on, because man, the lack of truly understanding who you are will allow you to attract the wrong people. And if you don't learn yourself, you don't understand who you are and how powerful you are, you'll wake up one day and won't even recognize yourself. I looked in the mirror one day physically and was like, who am I? What am I doing here? I didn't like that. But then again, what was the alternative? I didn't know. So I stuck with it for so long and still going down the path. And Lyman, you said something so powerful. When you're not performing and having the mask and being the people pleaser that they want you, I need you to please me, tell a joke, be funny, sing a song. That was me in school. And when I didn't feel like it, when my raw emotions were coming out and I didn't know how to deal with them or where to put them.
Right.
Something wrong with you. I don't like. You messed up. Well, of course I messed up. I've been performing all these years for you to accept me, to love me, and I lost myself so often in translation of school and adulthood. And I became a yes man for some people. Oh yeah, that's cool. Thinking to myself, what am I saying?
Right.
Just to fit in, and you guys are so right. You lose your voice.
Yeah.
You lose a part of you. And I don't know if it's a combination of, am I wasting time? I don't know. Do you need to go through some of that to learn yourself? Is this a part of the equation of life that we have to become the better version of ourselves? So was this written for me? These are the questions that I still ponder about to this day. Now, I'm thankful that I went through it, but I still kind of want to know, well, why did I have to go through it? You know, some stuff still weighs in my mind, but as long as I'm willing to learn thyself, to love thyself, to keep getting back up, picking up the pieces, then it's just growing. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Just growing.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that one. The whole, it's part of the process, as much as we don't like admitting it. It again, that kind of matches what we'd said before. It's messy. It can get tear induced. It can
it's ugly.
It can cause you to be angry. It can cause you to do really, really inappropriate things, or things that are just bad for you. But I mean, you know, unfortunately, it is part of the process, and
it is.
As long as we accept that and we learn from it, though, like, don't just ignore it. Don't just shrug it off like, oh, I did something bad. You know, like, pull it in and totally, like, internally analyze it, write it down on paper, whatever you got to do, toss it into an AI, have it analyze it for you, however you've got to do it, you know, but just accept that's part of the process. And we've got to do that to keep growing, man.
Yeah.
There's something so big in what you just said. I love that you just said that. I mean, it's so true, because I kind of go down that path that Brian mentioned often. I do. Yeah, I do. I had to remind myself.
Yep.
I really do.
Like, I did for the longest time too. I dealt with that all as well.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you ask yourself a different question, and this just came to me right as we're talking, no matter that those things happen, right? What's the difference? You are who you are right now, right? So what do you do with it?
Love that.
What are you going to do with it? Because if I really was to sit back and ask myself that right now, I don't have the answer. And that sucks. I hate not having answers. You guys know that.
Sure. Right.
And
Right.
so that
But
that
it's
just
okay.
right? That just begs the question is like, okay, so we got some work to do now, right? That's part of the healing
it.
journey,
Yeah.
though. And that's what I love
Yeah.
about this. That's why it's so important what you just said, Camp, because this is what this is all about, right? We're trying to heal our community, but in the process, we're also healing ourselves. I think somebody said it
Yes.
earlier. I think it was, I was in both of your lives, so correct me if I'm wrong, but Brian, I think it was you that said it, that this has been healing for you too,
It has.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Every
It was
day.
you that said that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I started thinking about that and I was like, yeah, me too. I just want to reach through this screen and hug you right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're on the same page and it just you're in my mind. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's about for me. You know,
Yeah.
I remember this time in this men's group. It was a sexual addiction men's group. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
honest. I'm gonna be upfront here. I'm not embarrassed anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be upfront with everybody. I remember the first time I ever spoke in this type of a group setting. First few times I went, I didn't want to say shit for all the previous aforementioned things that we talked about already up to this point. I hadn't mentally thought or written out anything that I was going to say beforehand, and that made me nervous as hell. And I'm sitting here in this man's group, and someone shared something really deep, like real pain. And it almost had me in tears. And for some reason, my heart started pounding like crazy, like the school thing, the science class that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
5 people ahead. I'm already freaking out. My hands are going crazy. Right. Same situation, except I'm much older now. I'm an adult now. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And this man shares this thing and my heart starts pounding because I knew I had something to say, but I didn't have it prepped. No bullet points, no witty phrasing, just a feeling in my gut that I got to say something.
Yeah.
And I opened my mouth and I swear to God, it sounded like gibberish to me. It was messy. My voice cracked. I repeated myself, I think, multiple times. I forgot where I was going.
Yeah.
But when I finished, the man across from me said, "That's the most real thing I've heard all week." And it clicked for me then. It didn't fix everything. I'm not saying that. But it clicked for me then that people don't need me to show up polished. They just need me to be present.
That's
and for
it.
whatever reason, whatever I said, I don't even remember. Whatever I said grasped a part of this guy's soul that he felt it necessary to let me know that was real for him. Whatever I said, it was real for him.
Wow. Wow. Man, that's powerful, man. It to me, it shows the synchronicities, right? That happens, that perform in life, that we have so many more things in common than we do differences, that we don't focus on that a lot of times.
Facts.
And it's there. So, man, saying, speaking with you two, right? It has helped me mentally, big time. Saying it out loud.
It's what it is.
Is a strength. It is. Going back to hiding my emotions, not saying anything, man. Listen, now I'm to the point now. I say one of my phrases. I stay yay either way, and long hair don't care. I'm gonna say what's on my mind. I'm gonna do it in a loving way, but you have to say it out loud sometimes for it to be impactful, to mean something. Sometimes we have to hear ourselves say thing that carries a wave, that carries a weight, that carries strength in our own words, because remember, there's more room out than in. So if I say it out, okay, now I'm hearing it internally, and it carries so much more power when you say it out loud, man. So talking, in fact, saves lives. I believe that with all of my core.
Yes.
And I will continue to talk as long as they make microphones. I'll be in front of one.
Better out than in, I always say, huh, Fiona?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a different subject, but it means the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm serious, man. Now, listen, man, this community, this journey that I'm on, my mindset has gotten stronger since I went on my journey. And
Yeah.
have I had some setbacks? Yeah, of course. But it's about perception. It's about how you look at it. How do I respond? Right? To anything that I'm going through. It's all about how you look at it. And that's where I'm at now. I mean, 10 years ago, I couldn't have done this. Shoot, maybe 5 years ago, I probably couldn't have.
Same here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Honestly, now that I think about it.
Well, I couldn't have done this. But when I accepted journey, loving myself, having a relationship with God, and I'm moving forward, it changes you. You may not see the change right then, but it does. And then it'll just happen automatically sometimes. Like, man, I answered that. I flowed this way. I had a response. Okay, it's not so bad. It's like pulling off that Band-Aid, right? Oh, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna wasn't so bad, right? But gentlemen, that's life, man. That's powerful what you said there, man. That's powerful there. You're so right about that. Yeah.
Well, and then kind of thinking back to like even just kind of reflecting on my stream earlier today.
Yeah.
I go in with a plan, a very loose one, but a plan. But I found for me, the more I plan it, the more anxiety comes in, the more stress gets involved.
Yep.
The more I don't want to do it, the easier I have in the back of my mind just to go, hey, I'm not feeling like streaming today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't allow that to happen, but that's kind of like how that's I think it's maybe a performance anxiety thing that kicks in. I don't know. But the more and more I'm involved with the community and everybody that visits in all our lives and all our streams, everything that's going on, the more I can actually start being myself. It's part of this healing journey. The more I can start, like I started off my stream originally supposed to do my story live today, and I never finished it. I couldn't even do it. We kept squirreling, topics kept jumping around. We were all having fun though. It didn't bother me. And I didn't want to keep reining it back and controlling everything. I'm like, no, this is a chance for us all to get to know each other even more on a different level. This doesn't have to be scripted every time.
Absolutely.
And finally accepting that and knowing that those type of streams can happen and being able to just hang with the people that actually care to be there.
Yeah.
And not stress about the numbers and all the other statistics and stuff like that.
Yep.
But it's like, oh my gosh, this is very eye-opening. And just the more we talk, the more we have these, the more we talk to our community, it's a huge journey. And I'm enjoying it the whole way.
Yeah. I love it, man.
And guess what? It turned out beautiful anyway. It was such a good live. I mean, you got
it was fun.
You got almost 70,000 clicks, man.
That's
awesome. we got it. We
Taps.
got to 70 by the time it ended. It was like 70,000 taps.
That's awesome, bro.
Man, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That is wild. Where's your wild caption? Let's put that on the screen right now. Wild.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. I have to say this before we move on. I love your new setup, man. Bro.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Super.
And it's only going to keep getting better now that I know I can do what I can do. It's just going to keep advancing because me and tech are best friends. So I'll find something else to add to it.
No, that's awesome.
You get that green screen, it's going to be next level.
Yeah.
Green screen, finding ways to integrate games. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
That little coin one was fun.
Yeah.
I think a couple days ago you did it.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah. Moving on a little bit, Brian, you talked a little bit about something that I think I would be remiss if we didn't talk about it. You talked about emotions quite a bit so far, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about this because it recently happened to me, and I think it's relevant. I used to think that crying in front of my kids meant that I was a weak father, right? Or that I would scare my daughters somehow, and that I'd lose the dad strength, right? That vibe that I was trying to protect.
Right.
But the other night, something serious happened between me and my wife and my kids, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's still pretty sensitive. But
Sure.
it was a big deal, and there was a lot of hurt feelings, right? And I thought, in this new dynamic that I'm trying to build with this blended family, it can be rough, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to see eye to eye. It's hard getting into a new relationship, and there's new people here, right? And there's new personalities, and there's just a whole lot of chance for conflict. There's a whole chance for love too, a lot of chance for love, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of chance for conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my wife spoke, and we decided that there has to be some sort of boundaries, right? We got to set some boundaries here. They're used to
Yeah.
boundaries at home with their mom. We got to set some boundaries here. They just let loose when they're here. That can't be the case anymore, right?
Sure. Right.
This situation made that very self-evident for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I'm sitting my girls down and I'm talking to them, I just start busting up in tears, right? And I get really emotional. And that's me by nature. Everybody knows that by now. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, right? But my girls don't tend to see me that way.
Mm.
And they were just quiet. They were watching. And I wiped my face and I was embarrassed. But you know what happened? The next day, my middle child, such a tender heart, just such a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
She could tell that I was still wearing it on my face because y'all know that I have subtitles. And she came up to me and she said, "Dad, do you need a hug?"
Mm.
And I said, "Yes, baby, I need a hug." And she just knew it, right?
Yeah.
She got up, she walked over to me, and she gave me the biggest hug. And she didn't have
Wow.
to say a word. And in that
Wow.
moment, I realized that I wasn't just teaching them how to be strong. I was showing them that it's okay to feel.
Absolutely.
Right? Being seen doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you more of a father. It makes you present. It makes you show up in the moments that actually matter.
Yeah.
And that was a rude awakening for me. And I'm going to show up different now, because of that. I have a guide now, and it's something that I'm going to hold myself to, because it doesn't matter if I'm showing up crying or if I'm showing up laughing.
Yeah.
It's the authenticity there.
Yep.
They're looking for, right?
Yes.
And because I was real with them, because I set the boundaries, even though it was uncomfortable for them, even though they may not have liked it all, I still showed up truly myself.
Yeah.
And I believe they all saw that in the end.
Wow, brother, that's beautiful, man. When you were talking, I did a video, man, one time, and it resonated with a lot of people. And I was talking about superheroes, and the ones that I mentioned was the Incredible Hulk, Wonder Woman, and I believe Superman. I talked about these three in particular, right? And I said that a lot of times we think that when you're having a Bruce Banner moment that you're weak. You're not. The Incredible Hulk needs Bruce Banner as much as Bruce Banner needs the Incredible Hulk.
100%.
Wonder Woman, she's going to have Diana moments, and Diana's going to need Wonder. There's the dynamic of that, man, right? That even though they were looked at in superhero, and they got super strength and they can leap bounds and do all these things, they still have those moments in life where they're vulnerable, and it's okay to have those moments to show that. And for me, man, I went and saw the Superman movie, and it really resonated with me because spoiler alert, it showed him saving a squirrel. Didn't matter if it was a human, didn't matter if it was a baby, it was bound to a little squirrel. And I said, wait a minute, man, that is really showing the humanity side of what the S represents, hope. It showed his love for all beings. It showed that, man. And I said, well, and he had moments where he was vulnerable when he couldn't go any further and he had to go to his dad, and his dad had to give him some, you know how it is when the old heads give you some great advice.
Yep.
It's like, wow, I love it. But he had those Clark Kent moments, but it didn't make him less Superman. And that to me explained, Lyman, absolutely. Superman on your chest, defend your family, bust out your shirt. I dare you to walk through this threshold. Right? I dare you. But for your children to see that, ooh, they know my dad is still Clark Kent, but he will grab somebody for me.
Right.
That's a beautiful moment, man.
Right.
That's a beautiful moment, man. So yeah, when you were saying that, man, and it resonated with so many different people, man. When they saw that, they said, man, I don't always have to be Hulk. It's okay to have them Bruce Banner moments. It's okay. You know, I gotta be Wonder Woman. It's okay to have those Diana moments. It's all right. I love that, man.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
And I guess I would be on the opposite end of that, whereas I was always super emotional for like everything. It didn't matter what it was, easily triggered, easily bothered, easily tearing up. So now I'm like on the phase of trying to find that happy medium. So I'm on like at the other end of that spectrum. I get what you're saying though, to be able to be vulnerable in front of your kids. That's beautiful. That's something that is impactful. It's just I'm on the other side of that spectrum, whereas it was like all the time, and there was like no benefit to it when it was always like that. Then they just thought something was wrong.
I got
so
you.
I mean, I'm wholeheartedly behind you on that now, but it's like for me, I think I'm just trying to look at the proper way to balance it out.
Yeah.
And just trying to find that happy medium, I guess.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it hits us all different, right?
It does. It does.
Listen, y'all, I want to, before we get too late on this, I want to talk a little bit about social media, right? It's wild how we can post our highlight reels and then say we're authentic, right? Right. I did that so often, and I've done it recently. I posted the polished parts of sobriety so many times, healing, growth, but I skipped the anxiety-induced moments, the attacks in traffic, or the nights I laid awake wondering if I'd ruined a relationship with my tone. We have this, I think you even mentioned this, Brian, but we have this like urge to be seen. And I think it's more particular with men, but women definitely feel that too. I've heard it from very many of them, even in our own communities. But I think particularly with men, we don't often feel seen.
Right.
But we only want to show the angles we've filtered.
Yeah.
And even more so nowadays.
Yeah.
Let me say this, though. You can't heal in a costume. That's why, and you guys may not know this, so this might be news to you. That's why I wanted to start this podcast. To be seen in a way that says, hey, I'm still figuring this out too.
Yeah.
To be my true, authentic self. That each one of you that's watching right now can actually identify with and be like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Shit, that makes sense. That just happened to me yesterday. Right? And then, okay, now we can heal together. Now it turns into a movement, right?
Yeah.
Now we got a community, and now, okay, this is where real healing starts, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Community healing drivenness. I love it, man. To me, it's the best way to know that you're not alone, that there's somebody else that empathizes, that feels the same way you do. And you're so right, man, because I think there's this stress factor that's put on society when it comes to what the terminology of being a man even means, right? There's this weight, there's this barrier. And I think sometimes if you don't know how to be real with yourself, you will placate to that. And you'll only show that, or you'll only do that because you're trying to live up to something that's really not even there.
Facts.
If that makes sense, right?
No, it 100%
Oh, yeah.
does.
And I had to learn that within myself that, man, look, I have a good friend of mine. He says elephants don't swat flies. And when he said that to me, I said, man, that's powerful, right? That's
Right.
it makes sense, right? I'm so big of, of who I am and knowing myself and loving myself that I don't worry about those little small things that people say, well, you should be doing this because you are, the XY chromosome. Well, what? Who are you to tell me? But the point that I'm trying to make is when we go on our journey, when we want to become 1% better, those things don't bother me anymore. I don't even deal with that. I do what the Lord tells me to do, and I go in places where I'm supposed to be. Those are the two main factors that I focus on in my life. And if people come around in my life on my journey while I'm walking, oh, that's a blessing, because now we can grow things together in the community of healing. That's a powerful thing. When we remove the mask of what a man is supposed to do and what it's supposed to be like, and remove the look at me, I'm dancing, look at me, I'm twirling. When we remove those things wholeheartedly and get down on the inside of who we are, we would know how to tame those emotions. Emotions are real. We have them. I don't ever remember, suppression equals depression.
That's right. That's
and
right.
if we don't deal with that, it can turn into aggression. And a lot of times that's where we end up.
Yep.
We're so aggressive. Hulk smash. Why are we smashing things? I don't know, but Hulk smash. So we got to walk it out. We got to deal with those things, man. But bro, what you said is so powerful, man. I agree with that. But once we come to the full realization of who we are and what we want out of life, and we're doing exactly what we're called to do, then hopefully you will knock away some of those things and you don't have to placate and try to be and do it. No. I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm doing it because I love people. I'm doing it because I'm called to do it. And now I'm in a space that I don't fall into those traps anymore. I used to real easy. Oh, it was easy. Now I don't fall into those traps, man, because I'm built for this.
I love it.
Yeah.
Started walking away from it, and I start, like you mentioned, the highlight reels.
Yeah.
Social media is there for it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get it. It's the algorithm. But if you start looking closer at the algorithms now on some of the new social media that's out,
yeah,
you're starting to go more towards authenticity. And that's what we need to start pushing towards anyways. Quit spending so much time pretending to be something else and giving just those highlight reels. People will latch on a lot quicker and they'll stick around longer.
Yeah.
It's not about the likes and the clicks. It's about building those real connections. And that becomes longer connections. So dealing with social media is a whole nother beast, but I started thinking about it in a way that I was doing that same thing with other people. It's not just social media.
Yeah.
Like we'd mentioned earlier with the yes man or the being something that you're really not. It all falls into the same category.
Yep.
It's one big circle. It all makes the same results. You know, we got to start being ourselves. You can't spend the time pretending to be something else. The more you hide it, the more it causes problems.
Yeah.
The more it just it rears its ugly head, and at the worst times too. Like you think things are going well, and or so your act is saying they're going well,
right?
And things just backfire. You say something, or you've said a mound of things that are just inappropriate, and you didn't even realize it. Nobody said anything. All of a sudden, everything backfires. You're like, oh, so now we got to restart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're back down to 0 again. Here we go again. Let's do this the proper way this time.
Right. Right. That's true, man. That's true.
But it's just we gotta we just got to keep growing with it.
Facts.
Not allow those highlight reels to be all that is that we're trying to show.
Yeah.
So listen, folks, if this episode pulled at you, that's good. It means your soul is ready to step forward. And I believe in that. Total facts there. And listen, if you're scared to be seen, I get it. I'm scared to be seen many days still. But there's a way through it. And a lot of what we talked about here today is that way forward. And I hope you found some value in it. If you're still hiding behind perfect responses or polished stories, I've been there. I see you. But I want to remind you, you don't need a script. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be there. Stand in it. And show up anyway. And if today was the first time you felt seen in a long time, welcome back. We love you. Let's keep going, fam. Much love to you, as always.
S3J fam, I hope y'all felt this one today. I know I did. We barely scratched the surface of this conversation. And in a few weeks, we're diving right back in with the next part. Now that you've been seen, can you stay? That question right there, that's where the real growth kicks in. And I can't wait to unpack that with you. But before we get there, we've got something special lined up. Next week, I finally get to bring on someone I've been waiting to share this space with for a long time. My best friend, Jules. She's walking into this space with the kind of heart, honesty, and grit this community was built for. From trauma to survival, from sexual assault to autism awareness. As a mother of 2 amazing boys on the spectrum. From relationships to healing to reclaiming identity as a woman. She's got stories, she's got scars, and she's got wisdom. Jules is about to bring the fire for every woman who's ever felt like her voice was silenced. And for every man who's learning how to listen better, you're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay real, stay grounded, and remember, you're safe here. Much love, as always, fam.